It's crazy to think that 11 months ago, I didn't even drink coffee. So how did we get here? This is my coffee journey. So up until 11 months ago, my entire life experience with coffee was not good. I didn't like it. I didn't like drinking it. It was always just home brew, drip coffee, coffee machine, you know, pre-ground stuff that was harsh, bitter, not good at all. And then someone very special took me to a legit cafe, and I tried a latte, a cappuccino, a flat white, and I was like, well, this is way different. This is completely different than the coffee experience I had prior to this exact moment. And at that point I was completely hooked, and I was like, I need this, and I need to do it at home all the time. How do I make that happen? So in a few short months, I dove hard into the world of coffee, and here's 5 things that I learned that might help someone else coming up in their journey as well. Number 1 is the world of espresso is expensive. And I mean very, very expensive. You have to determine what you want from coffee. For me, it was doing espresso and latte style drinks, milk style drinks at a cafe quality or better. And to do that, I dove hard into the internet. Hours and hours of research, hours and hours of content through YouTube to really learn what exactly I would needed if I wanted to do a cafe quality drink at home. I got a great piece of advice very early on, and that was, don't settle for an entry level machine if you know you want to get to where you want to get to in brewing coffee. Really have a good idea of exactly what you want out of coffee, and then buy something that's gonna be able to accomplish that. For me, I wanted to do espresso milk drinks almost every single time. That's my favorite thing to do. I make what I would consider a flat white in a latte sized cup, and for me that is the absolute perfect coffee. I thought if I couldn't make the cafe quality coffee at home, maybe I would just be going back to the cafe to get that good quality drink. So I wanted to make sure that I could do it, and do it conveniently enough that I wouldn't be swayed back to go to the cafe every single time I wanted a coffee. Would my home setup be able to do what I wanted it to do? So that advice really resonated with me, because I was like, you're right. If I get something and it doesn't live up to my expectations of what I want, I'm just gonna either have to upgrade it eventually, or you're gonna find myself right back in the cafe paying for expensive drinks when the whole goal was to get it that level at home. I ended up going with the Rancilio Silvia Pro. 1, because it was a dual broiler. That was really a big thing for me. I wanted to be able to brew and steam at the exact same time. That will make my workflow that much better. Because I wanted to do milk-based espresso drinks almost every single time, that was a key for me for where I needed an espresso machine. I didn't care about aesthetics. This machine isn't the most pretty one there is. There's lots of really nice looking espresso machines. I didn't care how it looked. All I wanted was results, and I wanted a good price, and that's what this is. The number 2 thing I learned in my research was the grinder is the most important part of your espresso setup, more important than the machine itself. Brewing espresso is finicky. Minor changes in grind size makes a huge difference in extraction. Having a grinder that can provide consistent grinds is really super key, and those do not come cheap either. I ended up going with the Niche Zero because the workflow is exactly what I was looking for. It's a single dose grinder, low retention. The amount of beans I put in is approximately the amount of grinds I get out. Super easy as far as dialing in shots and having consistent back-to-back espressos every single time. The dosing cup fits perfectly over the portafilter, and again, this makes workflow extremely fast, extremely easy, and it's a pleasure to make a coffee, not a job. So that brings me to my number 3 thing that I've learned, is that dialing in espresso isn't necessarily as hard as it's sometimes made out to be, especially when you have equipment like this. Really consistent brew temperatures, really consistent brew pressure, combined with a really good grinder that has easy adjustments from coarse to fine grind. Adjusting grind size to produce really good espresso wasn't necessarily as difficult as I thought it was going to be when I first started out. Teaching yourself to be a barista is pretty difficult. I went through a lot of tutorials, how to do it properly, but one key is buying some beans that you're familiar with. The coffee house that I went to sold the beans that they brewed in the shop, so I was able to purchase those, and kind of knowing somewhat the profile, had an easier job of dialing in the espresso and getting it to where that profile should taste like. So making the minor adjustments in grind size to get that exact profile was a lot easier than it would be brewing something that I had never tasted before. That brings me to the number 4 thing that I learned. A coffee scale is 100% required. You really need to know the exact dose weight of your grind and your extraction to make those slight little adjustments. This takes the guesswork out of more than half of the equation, and then you're just left with how you like the coffee to taste and just adjusting the grind size accordingly. And number 5, latte art takes a lot of practice. Something that I was really determined to do, to learn about, is how to pour latte art. The learning curve is great. My first couple pours, not so hot. Even today, when I'm pouring stuff, half the time it turns out terribly bad. Everything that I post on Instagram are the good ones. You don't see much of the bad. My progression of going through the swans, it wasn't as bad as I thought. It's just, I'm pouring 1 to 2 coffees a day on average. Baristas are doing it hundreds of times a day. So the learning curve is long for home baristas, but pretty proud that where I got to as far as pouring latte art in the short amount of time that I've been doing it. But a key for me was a couple things. One is getting milk texture perfect, and it's really hard to do. I use oat milk all the time. I switched the tip of the steam wand to a single hole steam wand. It came standard with a 4-hole tip. I found with the single tip, you can get a little more control. It takes a little bit longer to steam the milk, but that gives you more time to do it properly. Also, using a smaller jug to steam, I found helps a lot. This is a 12-ounce milk jug. I like using this one. It's nice and small, lots of control. Might not be the best as far as pouring latte art with, but I do like the milk texture I get with a smaller jug versus something bigger that I had before. A couple other things that are 100% required as far as I'm concerned if you have a setup like this. One is upgrading the basket to a precision basket. This was something that was recommended on every single espresso video that I saw. Everyone was upgrading their basket. They said that that makes a huge difference in extraction. I think it does for sure. That's an easy $40 to $50 upgrade. Another thing, a milk thermometer. This is just consistently gives you the exact temperature of milk that you want. So this 100% required, also very cheap. Also a WDT tool. This essentially just breaks up all the clumps in the espresso. You can smooth it out nice. It makes a huge difference. You want an even extraction throughout the whole process to get the best results. I also absolutely love these KRUVE mugs. These are designed for latte art, and pouring latte art in this is so much easier than other mugs. The way it's designed, a key component about pouring latte art is getting the milk foam to stay on top of the base of coffee. And the way that you can hold this on the angle, combined with your milk jug, it really does make a perfect angle to pour latte art in. I've been using these for a very, very long time. I love the design. The dual wall also keeps the coffee so much warmer for so much longer than other mugs do. Especially when I'm drinking on a fall day outside, I absolutely require this mug. It keeps the coffee warmer for such a substantial more time. I can really don't have to rush drinking this on a chilly day outside. This will keep it warm for so much longer. KRUVE actually spotted me on Instagram with some of my latte art pours. They reached out to me and asked if I would like one of their affiliated links. So if you're interested in purchasing a KRUVE glass, check out the link down below. Any purchase made helps support this channel. If you have a coffee lover in your life and are looking for a great gift, these are absolutely amazing. You don't have to be a latte drinker to enjoy them either. You know, just straight drip coffee in this is also great. The look is awesome. They have many different styles to meet all of the coffee drinkers' needs. All of their glassware is specifically designed to enhance aromas, an absolute must for any coffee drinker. So check out the link down below. So if you're like me and you want to get into the world of home espresso brewing and you have absolutely zero experience, what can you do? Well, what I did is I jumped on to YouTube and checked out all of the coffee professionals doing their thing. I would 100% recommend James Hoffmann. He is the guru of coffee, the biggest coffee creator on YouTube. All things reviews, coffee knowledge, anything you'd ever want to know about coffee, this man has a video for it. Absolute perfect production quality. If you're watching this and you're a coffee drinker, you probably have seen all of James Hoffmann's videos. His link is in the description down below. He's done excellent product reviews. He was one of the reviewers who convinced me to buy this machine and this grinder. So 1000% start on his channel. A couple other channels who do amazing product reviews. Kyle Rosell, excellent creator, local Canadian guy, lives in Ottawa. He does amazing product reviews as well. 100% recommend his channel. Along with Lifestyle Labs, they do great stuff as well. Really thorough, independent reviews. If you're looking for a machine, he's probably reviewed it. 100% check those 3 out for product reviews. They'll give you more information than you'll ever need to make a really solid purchasing decision. And if you want to try your hand at Latte Art, Emily Bryant is amazing at teaching latte art. I have watched all of her tutorials. Really good at explaining theory behind latte art, how to steam milk. Really good. Definitely recommend her. And there's so many others out there as well. The coffee content on YouTube is so vast, and I really jumped in hard when I got kind of hooked into coffee. I really found it interesting in the same way that I found whiskey interesting. Grow regions, brew methods, extraction, you know, roasting profiles. There's so much similar with coffee production there is in whiskey production. It was just an easy mesh for me. Really did enjoy it a lot and took so much time before making high-end purchases that I don't regret anything that I did. I think that everything that I purchased has been absolutely perfect for what I was looking for in this coffee setup. I wouldn't regret anything. So yeah, I can't say enough good things. If you're in the market for an espresso machine, now is the perfect time to buy. Black Friday deals, Boxing Day deals, the absolute perfect time to buy an espresso machine. I really wouldn't recommend buying anything at full price. These things are very expensive, so you can get a discount, can find them on sale. That's the absolute time to buy them. With these things in my coffee setup, I'm brewing what I believe is better than cafe quality drinks. And you can do that at home because you're making it the exact way that you want, and you're taking the time to make sure that the brew is exactly how you want it to be. So if you're in the market for a big purchase, I hope maybe some of this information helps. I'm still very new at this whole coffee thing, but from someone who less than a year ago didn't even drink coffee to where I am now, definitely do your research. Make sure that your first purchase is the one that's going to last you a long amount of time. That's the best advice I can probably give anyone looking to get into espresso with no experience like me. Thanks so much for watching. Really much appreciated. Have a good one. Cheers.